Most people wait their whole lives for motivation. They think success will come when they finally feel inspired, when stars align, or when life finally makes sense. But here's the truth: success doesn't wait for inspiration. It bows to those who show up. It follows those who act even when they don't feel like it. Discipline and action, not dreams, not talent, not motivation, are the real keys to success. Let me say that again. You don't rise to the level of your dreams. You fall to the level of your discipline. No matter how big your goals are, if you can't commit to showing up consistently, even when it's boring, even when it's painful, you won't win. The difference between those who succeed and those who don't is not luck. It's not intelligence. It's not the perfect plan. It's the ability to do the hard thing over and over again when no one is watching, especially when it doesn't feel good. You see, motivation is fleeting. It comes and goes. But discipline is a system, a way of life, a mindset. Think about the person who wakes up at 5 a.m. every morning to train, not because it feels good, but because it builds who they want to become. They aren't special. They're just consistent. They made a decision, and they honor it daily. Success is not one big moment. It's 1,000 boring, uncomfortable decisions stacked on top of each other. It's choosing the salad over the pizza. It's writing the report when you'd rather scroll social media. It's going to bed early so you can wake up with energy. It's those tiny choices, repeated with fierce discipline, that compound into extraordinary results. Let me ask you a question. Do you know anyone who's built something meaningful by being lazy, distracted, and inconsistent? Of course not. Because success is allergic to excuses. You can either make progress or make excuses, but you can't do both. When you look at successful people, what you're really seeing is someone who decided to show up regardless of how they felt. They trained their mind to stop negotiating with their feelings. They don't wait until they're in the mood. They act. They move. They execute. And that's why they win. Let me remind you. Winners don't rely on feelings. They build systems. They follow routines. They track progress. They correct course. They keep moving. They don't wait for the perfect day, they create momentum, one imperfect day at a time. So if you're waiting for the right time, I have news for you. The right time is now. The only thing standing between you and your next level is action. Let me tell you something else. Procrastination is not just a bad habit. It's a silent killer. It kills dreams, it kills confidence, it kills momentum. And the worst part? You don't even see it happening until it's too late. You need to build the ability to do things especially when you don't feel like it. That's discipline. And that's what separates average from extraordinary. Now take a moment and reflect. Where in your life are you choosing comfort over commitment? Where are you waiting instead of building? What would your life look like 6 months from now if you took daily action starting today? You don't need to do everything. You just need to do the next right thing over and over. Let me leave you with this truth. Discipline is choosing between what you want now and what you want most. Success is built in the silence, in the dark hours, in the early mornings when no one sees. It's built in the decision to rise, again and again. So stop waiting. Start building. Because every action you take is a vote for the person you are becoming. Let's be real for a second. You can't change your life if you're lying to yourself. You can't win if you're running from the truth. The hardest person you'll ever have to face is the one staring back at you in the mirror every morning. We live in a world full of distractions: social media, entertainment, notifications, noise, all designed to keep us from looking inward. But deep down, you know when you're hiding. You know when you're giving less than your best. You know when you're drifting, just going through the motions. And here's the truth no one wants to say out loud. You can't grow if you won't get honest. You have to ask yourself the hard questions. Am I doing everything I can to become who I want to be? Am I building the life I said I wanted, or just talking about it? Am I choosing growth, or choosing excuses? Facing yourself doesn't mean beating yourself up. It means taking responsibility. It means being willing to see both your strength and your shortcomings, without flinching. It means admitting, I could be better. And I will be. That's not weakness. That's power. Most people avoid this step. They blame circumstances, other people, bad luck, the past. But the ones who rise, they stop pointing fingers and start taking ownership. Look, no one is coming to rescue you. There's no magic button. No shortcut. No savior. There's just you, and the decision to take control of your life. You have to be your own teacher. Your own coach. Your own motivator. And that starts by being real, brutally real, with yourself. Because until you face yourself, you'll keep living a life you never truly chose. Here's something to reflect on. Every excuse may comfort you today, but it will cost you your future. Excuses are the most dangerous form of self-sabotage because they sound reasonable. I'm tired. I'm busy. I'm not ready. I'll start next week. Sound familiar? They make you feel safe, for a moment. But slowly, quietly, they drain your potential, and before you know it, you've wasted months, maybe years. You have to break the cycle. And it starts with a decision. To stop lying to yourself. To stop blaming the world. To stop waiting. Instead, start saying, I take ownership of where I am, and where I'm going. I won't be perfect, but I will be committed. I may fall, but I will rise every time. That's what it means to face yourself. That's where transformation begins. Now I want you to do something. Tomorrow morning, when you look in the mirror, don't just check your appearance. Look into your eyes. Ask yourself, am I living honestly? Am I honoring my potential? And if the answer is no, don't feel ashamed. Feel awakened. That discomfort, that tension, that's a sign that your soul is asking for more. Don't ignore it. Lean into it. Let it push you toward growth. Facing yourself is not a one-time event. It's a daily practice. And each time you choose truth over comfort, courage over denial, you get stronger. Not just mentally, but spiritually. You become grounded, focused, unstoppable. Remember this. The mirror doesn't lie, but it can reveal the person you're meant to become. So stop hiding. Stop pretending. Face yourself with honesty and with hope. Because once you see clearly who you are, you'll finally be free to become who you were born to be. Let's talk about something most people try to avoid. Pain. Failure. Disappointment. We're taught to fear them, to run from them, to numb them. But here's the truth you've been avoiding. Pain isn't your enemy. It's your teacher. And failure? Failure is just feedback. It's not the end, it's the beginning of something deeper, something more real. You see, most people want success without struggle. They want the glory without the grind. But that's not how it works. Every person you admire, every champion, every creator, every trailblazer, was forged in fire. They've bled. They've broken. They've doubted themselves. But they didn't quit. Because pain, if you let it, will sharpen you. Failure, if you embrace it, will shape you. These things don't destroy you, they reveal you. They uncover the part of you that's still growing, still becoming, still fighting. So here's the mindset shift. Stop asking, why is this happening to me? And start asking, what is this teaching me? Because every setback contains a lesson. Every wound contains wisdom. Every fall is an invitation to rise, with more fire than before. I get it, pain hurts. But numbing it doesn't help. Avoiding it only prolongs the process. You have to learn to lean into the pain, not to suffer, but to grow. To listen. To adapt. To build something stronger from the ashes. There will be days when everything feels like it's falling apart. Your plans fail. Your heart breaks. Your confidence shatters. And in those moments, you'll be tempted to give up. To believe the lie that maybe you're just not meant for this. But listen closely. That's the moment that separates winners from watchers. Because success doesn't come to those who never fail. It comes to those who never stay down. It comes to those who get back up, again and again, even when no one's clapping. Even when no one believes in them yet. Especially when it hurts. You know why pain is powerful? Because it wakes you up. It forces you to ask the deeper questions. What am I really made of? What do I want badly enough to suffer for? What kind of life do I refuse to give up on? Pain puts everything into perspective. And that's a gift. You've got to stop fearing failure like it's a curse. Failure is a signal that you're trying. That you're stepping outside your comfort zone. It's proof that you're reaching higher. In fact, the absence of failure usually means you're playing it too safe. No risk, no pain, no growth. Let me share this with you. The most successful people aren't the ones who avoided failure, they're the ones who kept showing up after getting punched in the face by life. They used failure as a compass, not a coffin. They didn't stop when they hit the wall, they found a way over it, around it, or through it. So now I ask you, what failure are you still carrying like a weight on your back? What pain are you still trying to numb instead of learning from? Maybe today is the day you finally release it. Not forget it, but reframe it. Turn it into fuel. Into power. Into purpose. Because if you can learn to dance with failure, if you can rise in pain instead of retreating, then no challenge can break you. No criticism can define you. And no obstacle can hold you for long. Let this truth sink in. Your pain is not your punishment. It's your preparation. For something greater. For the next level. For the version of you that doesn't just survive, but thrives. There comes a moment in every person's journey when they have to ask themselves one of the most important questions in life. Who am I really? Not who the world told you to be. Not who your family expects. Not what your resume says. Not the mask you wear at work or school. Who are you, at your core? Until you know that, you'll keep chasing things that don't fulfill you. You'll keep trying to fit into spaces that weren't made for you. Self-awareness is not optional anymore. It's the foundation of success. Because when you know your strengths, your blind spots, your values, your purpose, you stop wasting time. You stop living other people's dreams. You begin to build something that actually matters to you. Let me ask you, what are you naturally good at? What gives you energy instead of draining it? What do you value more than comfort? What problems in the world make you want to stand up and do something? These questions don't have easy answers, but asking them is a discipline. And without that inner clarity, you'll always depend on outside validation. Knowing who you are gives you direction. It gives you conviction. When you know yourself, you stop being available for things that don't align. You stop comparing your chapter 3 to someone else's chapter 20. You stop needing approval, because you've already approved yourself. But there's another part of this conversation, and it's just as important. Plan D. Let's talk about it. We live in a world that tells us to be realistic, to have a backup plan, to keep our options open. And sure, in some cases, safety nets matter. But when it comes to your dreams, your purpose, the mission that keeps you awake at night, there can be no Plan B. Plan B is just a silent permission slip to quit when it gets hard. It's a mental escape route, a way to justify giving up before the breakthrough comes. But guess what? Breakthroughs are reserved for the committed, not the curious. If you leave the back door open, part of you will always look for the exit. But if you burn the bridge, if you shut every door except the one in front of you, you will find a way. You'll adapt. You'll evolve. You'll figure it out, because you have to. Here's what I've learned. When you eliminate maybe, you create momentum. People who make greatness look effortless. They made a decision, and never looked back. They didn't play it safe. They didn't keep one foot in the comfortable zone. They jumped all in, and trusted themselves to swim. Now, that doesn't mean being reckless. It means being honest. Do you want this, or not? Are you committed, or just curious? Are you willing to do what it takes, or are you still negotiating with your limits? Because success doesn't come to those who dabble. It comes to those who decide. It's time to commit, without a backup plan. It's time to stop flirting with your goals and start marrying them. You want to write that book? Launch that business? Transform your health? Rebuild your life? Then commit. Fully. Relentlessly. With nothing held back. And remember, self-awareness plus full commitment. That's the formula. When you know who you are, and you refuse to settle, you become unstoppable. So take this moment to ask yourself, where have I been half in, half out? What part of me is still holding on to a way out? What would change if I truly burned the bridge to Plan B? Because once you stop giving yourself permission to quit, you will find the way to win. Let me leave you with this. You can't conquer the mountain if you're still debating whether to climb. So make the decision. Know who you are. Commit to the path. And never look back. Everyone says they want success. But not everyone is willing to do what success demands. Let me ask you a real question. Do you want success more than you want comfort? Because that answer changes everything. It's easy to want the results, the money, the body, the freedom, the recognition. But success isn't about wanting something. It's about sacrificing for it. And here's the hard truth. You can't chase success and chase comfort at the same time. At some point, you have to choose. Most people say they want it, but they won't wake up early. They won't stay late. They won't train when they're tired, study when they're discouraged, or keep going when no one's clapping. They love the dream, but they're not in love with the discipline. They crave the destination, but resent the road. But the people who actually rise, they've made a decision. I want success more than I want to sleep in. I want to win more than I want to stay safe. I want to grow more than I want to stay comfortable. They treat their goals like oxygen. They treat comfort like the enemy of their future. Let's be clear, comfort is not bad, until it becomes your prison. It starts small. You skip one workout. You delay one conversation. You settle, just for now. And before you know it, you're living a life that's easy, but unfulfilling. Safe, but small. The truth is, greatness has a price, and comfort isn't accepted as currency. You have to trade something for it. You trade your laziness for discipline. You trade your distractions for focus. You trade your short-term pleasure for long-term power. That's the exchange. That's the sacrifice. Now ask yourself, what are you willing to give up to get what you say you want? Are you willing to lose sleep, so you can gain clarity? Are you willing to miss out on parties, so you can build your passion? Are you willing to look foolish for a season, so you can rise in the next? This is what separates the dreamers from the doers. Because here's what they don't tell you about success. It's not always glamorous. It's often lonely. It will test you. It will demand your full attention. And it will never feel convenient. But it will be worth it. Not just for the results, but for the person you become in the process. And here's the beautiful irony. The more you embrace discomfort now, the more freedom and comfort you create in the future. But if you chase comfort now, you trap yourself in cycles of mediocrity. The people who break through, they've trained themselves to get comfortable being uncomfortable. That's their edge. Discipline becomes their comfort. Growth becomes their rest. Work becomes their worship. They don't need someone to cheer them on, because they're driven by something deeper than applause. They're driven by vision, by conviction, by hunger. Let me say this clearly. If your desire to win doesn't outweigh your desire to chill, you'll never reach your potential. Because life doesn't reward the people who kinda want it. It rewards the ones who refuse to settle. So here's the challenge. Start living in alignment with what you say you want. Don't just want it, show up for it. When it's raining. When you're tired. When it's hard. When it's lonely. Because that's where the real work happens. That's where the foundation of success is built. Let me leave you with this. When your hunger for greatness exceeds your craving for comfort, nothing can stop you. You already have what it takes. But now, you must prove it, with your choices, your discipline, your action. Today. Tomorrow. Every day.